Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Right on our strength. Talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you have joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. You have sent your child off to school since the last time we chatted. How is that going?
It's a little touch and go, but overall it's good.
Traumatic, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny to watch this. It really
So the
is.
first day she was a rock star, I might have cried a little after drop off. I thought I was good, and I called Ray to let him know it went smoothly, and all of a sudden I was like, I couldn't talk.
You lost it then.
Then day two, she cried a little, and I was good. And I have to say, I mean, those days without her at home, I like it.
Yeah,
Got a lot done.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's the funny thing.
Like,
It's just
man, I
funny.
got time.
All of these things you don't realize. Like when I have a day off, my daughters, when they were both in high school, like I had the day off.
Yeah.
Well, now they're working in college classes and coming and going, and you're sitting there and you're doing something. The next thing the door's open. It's like, oh, what was that? You know. So it is crazy. Well, that is fantastic. I'm glad she's doing well, and I'm glad everything.
And you
is well.
sent one off to college, right?
My junior year for my youngest one off to college. She's doing fantastic. It's
Good.
just it's been interesting. Obviously we've talked about a lot with the sprint car world, but it's been an interesting time because freshman year she lived at home. Going to it's Charlotte, so it's a 4-year college, so it wasn't like community college, but she lived at home in Charlotte. Sophomore year, she opted to stay on campus, even though most of the classes were online and campus was largely empty. Now it's wide open. There's people everywhere, but the transition has been great. She's actually off and running, so it's
That's
cool.
great.
Good stuff. Everything is great at the home, and everything is good in the racing world. My
Yeah.
gosh, it was good. Now, I had the chance. Let's get into our Hefner Racing Products Hot Top. I had a chance on Saturday night to get to Butler Motor Speedway in Quincy, Michigan. Butler has been one of those places where I've left. I've probably been there 5 times. I think 3 times I've left saying I'm never coming back again. I love a high-speed, expedited, start at 7:30, done at 9:30 show, okay? Butler does not do that. Of course, they've got 4 classes and everything like that. And the last time I was there, I'm like, why am I? This place is full of people. This place is full of people. I mean, it is chock full. They are doing really, really well. Who the heck am I to come in here and say you're doing this wrong? The people that want...
Some people don't mind.
They don't mind, exactly. So I went there. I said, I'm going back again. And I love the racers there. And we'll talk a little bit about the racers. I said, I'm going back again. And I knew this time there was going to be an autograph session on the track during intermission. So I knew it was going to be there.
Yeah.
It's a great place. It really is. Yes, Steve Post on a night when I want to go to bed early, it may not be the place I need to go. But Steve Post on a night when I didn't have to go to bed early, I sat in the stands. The bratwurst was spectacular. The popcorn
I knew we were
was
going to
good.
talk track food.
The people were good. The racing was good. And I left Butler saying, I can't wait to come back here again. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think the thing that changed is my attitude. They're doing well. And they don't need to do what Steve Post needs to do. They need to do what the people in Quincy, Michigan want them to do. And they are putting on some great Saturday night races. The modified race was spectacular. The modified feature was first, sprint car second. I left after that. A modified feature, you put that modified feature at any track in America, and people are going to come to see that every week. It was really good.
Wow.
Sprint car feature, they had a few more cautions, just cars stopping and stuff like that. Great race, great people. Kudos. 2 thumbs up. Butler Motor Speedway. The Butler Battle, and I love the Butler Battlegrounds name. Love that name. They started in 1950, and they've been, I don't know how long they've had 410s, ever since. I mean, it's just part of what they do. And it's this outlier, really, because they're not tied in. I mean, I-96 will run some races, and there's the sprints on dirt, which is that open series. But yet, the guys that race Butler many times are just guys that race Butler. Sort of like Farmington, Missouri also.
Yeah.
There's these 2 tracks that fascinate me, Butler and St. Francis. It's like, how are they surviving? How are they doing? And Butler's doing well.
Yeah.
Really cool. A.J. Aldrich was the winner. His first win at Butler. His second season as a sprint car driver, he has been going to that racetrack since he was 5 years old and watching his dad. And so while the celebration, as I was headed to the exit, I didn't get a chance to talk to AJ. The celebration was big. I got on Facebook and looked at his page, and this is really cool. So AJ Aldridge, man, fantastic. The last 2 times I've been there, I've talked to Quentin Blonde, the Blonde family. They've been racing forever. And talked to Quentin, just a great guy. And I met a guy named Tyler Rankin. I talked to him. Tyler's another guy that's raced up there. He's had some success he's won. And so I just bump up to his car, number 39 car. I'm like, how's it going? And everything like that. And he said, we're doing good since we got back out. I said, oh, you were slowed down? He had a heart attack this
Oh, wow.
He's not really an older guy either. I mean, he's, I would say mid-40s maybe. He had a heart attack. And so the family's just all pulled together, and they got him back racing.
Wow.
And they're racing as a family and having a good time and just neat. And I think that's the thing. I think that's what always, when I had those moments where I'm leaving there cussing under my breath, I always defer to the racer.
Yeah,
and there are
people.
great racers there. What I did this time was there's a great racer with a great racetrack that runs wonderful Saturday
and you
night
went
football.
in with expectations a little. You managed
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but the racers there are so good, so cool, such a great group. So, thumbs up to Butler Motor Speedway, the Butler Battlegrounds, a great night of racing, and to AJ Aldridge getting that first win at Butler. That was cool, man. Saw a picture of his wife, and she posted something on Facebook. You know, Erin, this sport is just grueling. I mean, when a family is in this sport, it takes everything.
It's a lot of sacrifice.
It does take a lot of sacrifice. And when you're a generational racer, you know, someone marries into the family, and it's just, you just don't know. And I think his wife's post or someone's post to her was just like, you could just read how hard they work for that moment. And that moment delivered for him. So good.
That's awesome.
Love it. I just really do. So again, Butler Motor Speedway, the Battlegrounds. They have the Butler Bash coming up this weekend. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. Wasn't going to be in Daytona. I might hop a plane and go up and see him again. That bratwurst was so good.
I knew the brats were coming back.
The bratwurst was spectacular. I mean, the popcorn. Oh, gosh. I'll tell you what. Another guy that had a pretty good weekend was Anthony Macri.
Yeah.
First career win at Williams Grove. We're going to talk to Anthony on the show today, but man,
swept the weekend.
Yeah, he did. And then he went up to Port and won his 4th time up there. But I'm going to find out what the deal is at Williams Grove, why it took him so stinking long. It's not like he wasn't trying, and it was not like he wasn't knocking on the door.
He doesn't have some good company either.
You're right about that, too, yes. So, NOS Energy Drink, World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, Donnie Schatz winning at home. That was big, number 301.
Yeah.
Donnie will be our guest on Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, our television program. We sat down, Ashley and him and I sat down on a Zoom call.
Oh.
And it was great catching up with the champ. He won at Red River Valley. And then David Gravel won one for Todd Queering. If you're going to win one, Gravel, and Gravel's won a lot this year, but that's a good one to win. Just seeing pictures of Todd in Victory Lane with him.
Yeah.
There's such a, it's like we talked about with the family with AJ Aldrich, the passion of Todd Queering and that team, and, you know, Cody Jacobs wrenching that car. And there's just such a passion there. And man, you get so, you work 6 and 3/4 of days a week, sometimes to get that quarter of a day of celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, it's so cool. It really is. Flow Racing All-Stars, Corey Eliason, he picked up the win at I-96 Speedway, and Cole Duncan. Oh my gosh, I watched the highlights of this race. Oh, Cole Duncan. We're going to talk to Cole. I am telling you, if you are leading a race that Cole Duncan is at and that track slicks off,
watch out.
Batten down the hatches, because he is coming by you.
Yes.
I mean,
through the middle, in the slick.
Right in the slick, faster than you on the bottom or faster than you banging the top.
Yeah.
He is just, he's got that wing in the trunk, and that cat is so talented. Watching him go around Waynesfield, and I mean, we're talking Sunshine and Corey Eliason.
Yeah.
We're not talking ham and eggers here. Okay, we're talking 2 of the best sprint car drivers in the country. And when he passed Eliason, in fact, I think it was Blake where the call was either Blake or Brian Liskey, is like, they were kind of like, he's gone. You know what I mean? Like this.
It wasn't even a battle.
No, it was just, he just drove by. So we're going to talk to Cole Duncan. I love his story. Just such a blue collar racer. That's what we do. Rodney Duncan had a career racing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Duncan family does on their weekend. And boy, like I said, if I'm ever in a race car leading one of those races, well, first off, hell hath frozen over if that happens. But I
would like to be there.
If you're a race car driver in Ohio and that track slicks off and you know he's in the field, that number 22 you're going to see that number 22 before it's over.
Mm-hmm.
He is
No doubt.
good. Gosh, it's great. IRA Bumper to Bumper Sprints. I just love these guys. They're so good. Jake Blackhurst and Scotty Thiel won there. It's just been such a great tour this season. It really has. I mean, you unplug the top there with the North Pole Night, with Baylog going All-Star Racing, and you just see these guys like Thiel and Blackhurst, great racers, getting more chances in victory lane. And that's just going to better their program. And these guys are traveling a little bit. Scotty Thiel's done a lot of traveling this year, and they're just going to get better and better. I mean, these are names that are when the Outlaws and everyone and the All-Stars go to the Midwest, they're going to need to hang on because these are some great racers. So cool stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to do here today. Cole Duncan and Anthony Macri are going to join us here on the show. Okay, Hefner Racing Products, the absolute number one pit utility vehicle in sprint car and midget racing, is a custom mule conversion from HRP. Starts with a solid platform, dependable, good-looking Kawasaki mule, and it's customized and built to each customer's specifications.
Yep, there's options like generator, air compressor, shock and radius rod racks, amazing toolboxes and drawers, LED lighting, walk-on roofs, and more. HRP mule conversions perform, outlast, and maintain their value better than any other utility vehicle. HRP Mules, raising the standard again in pit utility.
www.hrpracing.com. That's hrpracing.com. I snuck over there and saw our folks with them.
I never saw Jeff.
I didn't see Jeff.
Yeah, I
didn't see Jeff. I didn't see Jeff. But they brought down a tractor trailer full of mules.
And I ran.
Well, no, they were gone by the time I got there.
Good.
They wouldn't let me test drive them. So, all right, there we go. Hey, let's take a look at this one. It was Friday night, I-96 Speedway. Ian Madsen, Tyler Courtney, and Corey Eliason battle in flow racing. And how about this? Wade Onder with the call.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Watching Eliason up on the lap car again, and now comes Tyler Courtney. Tyler closing in as well. We got a three-way battle, and Eliason is your leader.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
For decades, Dryden Lubricants has been made in America and made to last, paving the way on our highways, in our fields, and on the production line. Today, Dryden offers a complete line of engine oils, greases, hydraulic and transmission fluids, and diesel exhaust fluid. If you want greater performance and protection for your critical engines and equipment, go to Dryden.com. Dryden, American owned and operated, and a proud supporter of racing and race fans everywhere.
Over 200 events from coast to coast, and they're celebrating 30 years of Scattering Soil, the American Sprint Car Series, the world's largest sprint car sanctioning body, is bringing more thrills with wing and even more non-wing action in 2021. 11 regional tours, the national tour. No matter where you are, we're coming to a track near you. Can't be there? Get double the streaming fun with Racing Boys and FlowRacing.com, bringing all the adrenaline to your favorite streaming device. See the full lineup of events now at ASCSRacing.com.
So much good racing, as we've talked about, and we're always just love talking about the state of Ohio. Man, the racing there is so good, whether it's weekly racing or the Ohio Valley Sprint Car Association or the Fast Series or the All-Stars or even the Outlaws when they roll through. There's always something good happening in Ohio, and boy, I'm telling you what, when you go to Ohio to dance, there's a number 22 car that'll dance with you. He picked it up again, picked up a win with the All-Star Circuit of Champions on Saturday night at Waynesfield. Joining us on the Dryden Hotline is Cole Duncan. Hello, Cole. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, as always.
Try this again. Silence. I'm not hearing Cole at all. So, okay. Cole Duncan.
Can you guys hear me now?
We're mashing some buttons and twisting some knobs back in the control room, so we're dialing them up. All right. Cole Duncan joins us here on Wing Nation. Cole?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. How about you? Congratulations on another All-Star win on Saturday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, tell me about it. I watched the highlights. Boy, it looked like late in the going you had that thing dialed up, but tell us from your perspective how you got that win.
Yeah, we started out of the box and laid down a good qualifying lap and got ourselves in position. And that allowed us to try some things in the heat race that didn't work out, but at least we knew what not to do for the feature and the dash. And kind of went back to what we know and and was able to get rolling right through the middle there towards the end of the race. And I probably got a little lucky with that late restart and getting by Corey, but it all worked out for us, and just really proud of my guys and the effort they put in. It was a hot one there, and that it was cool to have the All-Stars and the Fast Series join there. And we were going to go there regardless to support Shane Helms and his promotions there at Waynesfield. That's one of my favorite tracks, and he's one of our good sponsors. So just a really cool event, and they had a great racetrack for us, and it all worked out for the 22 car.
Cole, you mentioned in Victory Lane, or I think you complimented on such great track preparation, but you talked about how when the cars were running the bottom, they were throwing up some crumbs, and you made that middle lane work a lot of that race. You think you talked about you had the wing in the trunk. Is it car setup? Is it your driving style? You seem to be able to pull that line off a lot, to be there, to run right through the middle and to just pull away from those guys.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I grew up racing at Skyline Speedway, which they actually do have a couple sprint car races this year, but haven't had any races or any sprint car races for a while. But Skyline Speedway was super red clay, and it got really black slick, and it took a lot of finesse and throttle control, and obviously a really good race car when the track gets like that. So I think it was a combination of both, and that's something that we've always prided ourselves on being really good at. 10 years ago, I grew up watching Dale Blaney and Tim Schaefer, just dominate Ohio, and the tracks were a lot more like Waynesfield was this weekend, where they get kind of shiny black across the middle, and but they hold a top and a bottom where guys can run. You get 3-4 wide racing, and so growing up watching those guys do that was always, we want to be as good as them, and that's kind of what we work towards. And nowadays, I think the tracks stay a little dirtier. I think they keep them a little wetter sometimes, but every once in a while you get those track conditions that play into your favor, and that worked out for us.
Cole, that race had a restart with, I think, 6 laps to go, and Corey jumped out on you there. He was the race leader. When you're doing that pedaling through the middle momentum, does it take a lap or two to kind of get the rhythm and to get this kind of the speed built up through the middle?
Yeah, a little bit. I thought we had a better car late in the race, running through the middle like I was. And, Corey was obviously hammering the top and was really good at that. And I knew Tyler Courtney and those guys behind me that I had passed. I'd passed them through the middle, but I didn't want to give up that lane on the restart, and hammer around the top to try and keep up with Corey. I was hoping I had enough laps to inch my way back up there, and we did. But he got an awesome restart and got me quite a bit, had me a little worried the first couple laps. And then, like you said, as you get to doing that and you find your rhythm and keep the car straight and in the racetrack, it all starts kind of coming together, and we were able to get them there with a couple laps left.
Cole, you've had a lot of success in your career, but how much do these all-star wins mean? You're talking about passing Corey Eliason and Tyler Courtney. How special are these wins?
The all-star wins are about as good. The only thing from a driver's standpoint, everybody wants to win a World of Outlaw race because that's our national touring series, but the All-Stars, the competition level is right there with the Outlaws right now. I think this is some of the toughest competition they've had in a while as far as depth goes. That clear back to when my dad ran the All-Stars, you always had 2, 3, 4 guys on any given night that had the best equipment to win, and now I think the All-Stars are pretty stacked depth-wise. So obviously Tyler Courtney just won the King's Royal, so that's one of our crown jewels, and that's obviously a great race team. Elias on the 26 car have a great race team. There's a lot of really good race teams and drivers following the tour right now. So to pick up an All-Star win right now, especially, is very special. An All-Star win is always special, but the competition level is so high right now, and the cars are so equal. It makes you pretty proud as a team to be able to pick up a couple of those.
want to talk a little further and dig in a little deeper, Proud as a team, because when you're racing against Corey Eliason and Tyler Courtney and those guys, you are also racing against one of the some of the most well-funded teams in all of sprint car racing, and that's fine. Kudos to them. Congratulations to them for pulling that off. You guys are not one of the most well-funded. You are a family operation that puts your nickels and dimes into it and know where to put it. There's got to be extra satisfaction just to know that the little guy in sprint car racing can go against the well-funded teams and have success at times.
Yeah, for sure. We always say you can only put one car on the track at a time. So that's what we try and focus towards. We definitely have to pick and choose our battles sometimes. I would have loved to have been at Knoxville, and with our work schedule and I guess I don't want to call it the lack of equipment, because we have good equipment. We just maybe don't have as much as some of those, we'll call them better funded teams, I guess. But, so we just have to pick and choose our battles. And, Waynesfield, for example, is always a track that we have circled when the All-Stars come down, or anytime really, because we feel like we can be competitive there no matter what. So it's very satisfying to beat those guys, and I hate the woe is me and we don't have as much money as them, because like I said, you can only put one car on the racetrack at a time, and we feel like our stuff is able to compete 90% of the time, so that's what we gear our schedule for, and that's what we ask like an engine builder and stuff like that to gear our motors. We're not necessarily geared towards the big half miles because we don't have a lot of them in Ohio, so we just got to be smart about it. And we don't race quite as much as we'd like to. I'd love to run 60 or 70 races a year, but, with work and the tracks that we run around here, it works out to run, 40 or 50 races a year. So that's kind of what we build our schedule around, and we try, and we've got to thank all of our partners with us have been with us for, some of them have been with us for 10 or 12 years, and some of them have been with us for 2 or 3 years, but we pride ourselves in trying to keep our sponsors and partners happy, and hopefully we've been able to do that for them.
Well, I think they should certainly be happy with you in Victory Lane. Speaking of schedule, is there anything, what's coming up in the next month or so for you?
Yeah, so we've got, we've run a couple races at Atomic, I think they have left. I would like to do the All-Star portion of the Four Crown, but we'll kind of see where we are equipment-wise when that time rolls around. We've got, a couple good all-star races at Attica. I'm not sure we'll be able to hit both of them, but definitely want to hit one of those. And I think Wayne County's got a 15,000 win. I believe that's Pete Jacobs Memorial. So that's all stuff we have circled for now, and we kind of go day to day and just kind of make the schedule during the week for what fits our team the best.
Nice stuff, for sure, and a good win there on Saturday night at Waynesfield. Cole, it is always a pleasure to chat with you, especially after a win like that. Congratulations, and thanks again for joining us here on Wing Nation.
All right, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
There we go. Cole Duncan. I love the wisdom that team has.
Mm-hmm.
Pick and choose your battles.
And they know what.
But when you go there,
yeah,
you're going to battle with the same gun as everyone else.
Yeah, they know what works for them.
They know what works for them. There's a number of teams that do that. I mean, over in Pennsylvania, it's obviously what Lance and that team does over there. I think that we all know that Cole Duncan would love to be running the World of Outlaw Tour with a fully funded big dollar team traveling up and down the road with his family in tow and everything else. We all realize that that's not reality. And some guys try to do that, but I think Cole and that family just realizing this is where we're at, this is where our strengths are, this work with our engine builder on those strengths. Yeah. I like that he mentioned that. Let's just go do this, and when they come to our playground, let's have something for him. And boy, he does. 6 wins this season, 3 at Atomic, Fremont, Portsmouth, and this one at Waynesfield as well. So cool stuff. I love that story. Every time I get done talking with Cole, I just feel better about everything. Yeah. It's just this family team can do what they're doing. I think it's awesome. So how about that? Good stuff. Great catching up with Cole Duncan on the Dryden Hotline. Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Want to experience racing in its purest form? Do you yearn to return to where NASCAR came from? Watch high-banked, full-throttle, super late model racing at the World 100 at Eldora Speedway on Flow Racing September 8th through the 11th. It's the crown jewel of dirt late models. This is grassroots racing at its finest. See who will win a globe by subscribing today. Go to flowracing.com/world. That's FLOracing.com/world.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honeycrisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey!
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Continuing on, we are in the Hercules Tires studios in Concord, North Carolina. Erin Evernham and Steve Post having a good time. This is one of my favorite spots to be because we talk sprint car racing. Another one of my favorite spots to be is turn number 2, Knoxville Raceway on the famed Marion County Fairgrounds. The address is One Sprint Car Place. We always do this with the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum with the birthday calendar. George Doc McKenzie, earlier this week. James Billy Wynn, George Nestler, and Brad Knopfsinger later on this week. Brad Knopfsinger. I see him every once in a while at Millbridge.
I haven't seen him in a little bit.
Oh, I saw
Good
him
guy.
I saw Millbridge earlier this year. Brad Knopfsinger and Billy Wilburn talking.
Oh, boy.
You want
That's
to
a
talk about were any lies told? Well, lips were moving. Lies were being told with those two. I think I put a picture. I might have even put it on our Wing Nation group or something, because when you get Brad Knopfsinger and Billy Wilburn together, boy, you got some stories there.
Oh, yeah.
You got some characters. Today would have been the birthday of 1993 inductee Roger McCluskey. Roger McCluskey was born on this day in 1930 in Tucson, Arizona. He is a 2-time USAC sprint car champion, winning those honors in 63 and 66. He had 23 USAC sprint car wins. 1973 USAC champ car champion, 5 champ car wins. He also had 4 USAC midget wins and had a lot of success in stock cars. I think NASCAR, he had a second place finish, and he was a 2-time USAC stock car champ. USAC had a stock car division in the late 60s and early 70s, 1969 and 1970. One of the fascinating stories about Roger McCluskey was in 1967, he was racing at Le Mans, and Mario Andretti was in a bad crash, and Roger McCluskey pulled Mario out of the car.
Wow.
Just a wonderful guy, and we lost him in 1993, 63 years old, after a battle with cancer. But his life is forever enshrined at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, where also at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, up until October 1st, it is the Salute to Champion Greg Hodnett, and that display is spectacular.
It really is.
I went through there when I was there for the Truck Series, and went through there twice during week, and you see something every time.
Yeah, I feel like I still didn't get to see the whole display, because then I end up talking to someone. I went through it 3 or 4 times. That's an awesome display.
www.sprintcarhall.com or their online store, Sprint Car Stuff. Going back to the Dryden Hotline, joining us fresh off from not 1, but 2 trips to Victory Lane this weekend is Anthony Macri. Hello, Anthony. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hello, how are you guys?
We are fantastic. What does it feel like to finally get that first Williams Grove win? It's not like you hadn't been trying hard and knocking on the door. Got to be a little relief getting that win on Friday night.
Definitely feels awesome. Feels like I've been trying forever, and it feels like that's something I've been really close to, and it's just always gotten stolen from me in the last couple laps, it seems like. But it honestly feels awesome to kind of finally seal the deal.
Anthony, you talked about, I'm not sure, after one of your wins this weekend, about how you've really been trying hard to work on your mental game. And I think you said you have the mentality lately to just get better. What does that exactly mean? Because obviously it's working with 2 wins on the weekend.
I don't know. I just felt like I kind of got in a rut there where I wasn't driving hard as I normally would, and I wasn't smart through lap traffic. And then we went out to Knoxville, and just whenever I run with the Outlaws and those guys, and the competition level is higher, it just feels like it kind of sharpens me up mentally, and we always come back to be a better job. So I love running with those guys just because it makes me a better racer, and I think that goes for everyone that races with them. It makes you a better driver all around.
So you've talked about races that have gotten away from you at Williams Grove. What were the last few laps like on Friday night? Thinking were you thinking what's going to happen, or was you just keep focused and keep doing what you're doing?
It was nerve-wracking because I knew the 69K was behind me, and obviously they're the ones to beat at the Grove. So after we went green, it's just I tried to drive as hard as I could and just hit my marks and occasionally peek up at the leaderboard to see if the 69K got in a second. And I think that finally happened in the last lap, and then I just kind of knew to go to the bottom and protect in 3 and 4 in the last lap, and honestly hope for the best.
Anthony, when you talk about racing with the Outlaws or going out to Knoxville and just getting a little bit sharper, when you're out there racing with say, the Outlaws or at the Nationals, while you're doing it, it's sometimes kind of hard to realize you're learning because you're getting a little bit beat up usually with those guys. When is it that you realize that you've gained some, whether it's confidence or knowledge or a little bit of all of that, and you get back on track and suddenly things seem a little easier at home? Is that kind of how it happens?
Yeah. I mean, I think I know as a driver, I know Jim knows as a crew chief, when we go out and we race with the Outlaws or just the Nationals in general, it's probably not going to be the easiest, but we know we have to take good notes and know what we can do better. And I know at the end of the day that we are racing with the best. So when we come back home, it's going to be a little bit easier. But the biggest thing is just not get down on yourself, even if you are in a bad position or you have a bad night. It's just you put that behind you and you go into the next night. There's always another race.
It's a brutal sport. It's a challenging sport. It's a tough sport. And you throw Knoxville in the middle of it, which is just an absolute brutal week. It is so tough. What does it mean to you to take the next step this year and to get in there and get a chance to run the A-Main? What did that mean to you?
It meant the world to me, honestly, because that's just something I've always dreamed of since I was a little kid. And to finally be able to go to Knoxville and run decent and put it in the A-Main Saturday night, just dream come true, really. And then just from there, I just knew I just had to, complete as many laps as I could just to get experience and just take mental notes of what to do and what not to do. And I don't know. 2 weeks later, I still had a loss of words, really, that we made the Nationals. And I know it took till Friday night to put it into the show, but just to be able to say we made the show is pretty awesome.
It is interesting that in our careers, the Knoxville Nationals, just making the A-Main is almost as big as, like you said, almost winning races. Where does that stack up in your career? You said it's a dream come true, but just making the A-Main and being there in the 4 wide on that parade lap, what does that mean when you look at your whole career?
It's definitely up there on the list. I mean, I know we finished wherever we did, but at the end of the day, it's the biggest race in the country. I mean, everybody goes there. The best of the best are there. So to be able to, be in the starting 24 and like you said, be in the 4 wide salute and just kind of take that all in, it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely up there on my list of things that I've accomplished so far.
As it should be. 9 wins this season for you, Anthony. But when I look at them, 4 at Port Royal in the 410s, 2 at West Virginia Motor Speedway, 1 at Bedford, 1 at Williams Grove. You also have a 360 win at Port Royal. You talk about your racing game and your racing craft. It appears to me from this list, you have got the half miles dialed in really, really well. What types of things are you working on and energy and effort are you putting into some of the bull rings and some of the shorter tracks this year?
I know Speed Week was our best performance, but we've been working really hard on our short track program. I know we test a little bit and we try different things, and I feel like we're kind of going in the right direction. I mean, in my opinion, Lincoln's a different animal. It's totally different than most of the small tracks you go to. So we still have some work to do there, but when we go to Grandview and some of the other smaller tracks, I feel like we're kind of right there. I forget where we ran at Grandview when we were there for Speed Week, but I think it was a half-decent finish. But we do have the half miles dialed in. It's going to take a little bit more work to get the smaller tracks dialed in, and I know Jim will work hard, and I know I'll work even harder. So let's just take a little bit of time, and hopefully we'll be a threat at the small tracks here soon too.
Anthony, when you look down the road, where would you like to be? Obviously, you're having great success in Pennsylvania, but we see you kind of branching out here and there more often. Is there hopes to run the Outlaw Tour, or do you plan to race Pennsylvania and kind of keep it close to home? What are your thoughts long term?
I think the end goal is to ultimately run with the Outlaws and go in that direction. But I think for a little bit here, we're just gonna kind of stay around home and then go out for the bigger shows, and in between there, maybe just pick some shows outside of PA that we want to go to that don't necessarily pay big money, but just tracks that we want to get to and see.
This is always a fascinating time of the year, and we've had this same conversation with Danny. I talked to Greg Hodnett back when he was alive. You guys that have had success or aspire for success on the road, we're coming into an incredible month in the state of Pennsylvania. Actually, this weekend, there's 4 all-star races, and then the month of money with the Tusky 50, the Dirt Classic, Sealands Grove, then the National Open. How do you, during the course of this, I'm assuming you probably stay close to home with all of that money there, but how does a guy that wants to get off the porch, to steal the phrase, sometimes the porch is a pretty good spot to be. How do you balance all of that, Anthony?
I don't know. I mean, some weekends it's obviously better to stay home, but for financial benefits and the money that we're raising for, it's just honestly better to stay home sometimes. I mean, PA pays very well even on a weekly basis. We don't just need big races to get big money. So sometimes it's kind of hard to take a step back and just race at home for the money that we have back home here. But I guess this is really our month of money kind of coming up. But the plan is to kind of stay home and race around here and see what we can do.
I am sure you will do well. That is for sure. And I look forward. I think I'm going to hit Baps, Williams Grove, and Lincoln. I'm going to hit the Dirt Classics. I can't wait to see you guys race in person again up in Pennsylvania. Well, Anthony, congratulations on another win at Port Royal and checking Williams Grove off that box of wins as well. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you down the road again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
There we go. Anthony Macri joining us here on Wing Nation. Sunoco is a proud partner of Wing Nation. Not all fuels are created equal, so fill up with Sunoco Ultratech. Sunoco Ultratech is a top-tier detergent gasoline that is proven to make your engine run cleaner, longer, and more efficiently. Using the same detergent package as what is blended into some of Sunoco's high-performance race fuels, you can trust Ultratech for your everyday race. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, fill up with Sunoco Ultratech and fuel your best.
Just like racing components, Aggressive Hydraulics purpose-builds hydraulic cylinders to perform for customer-specific applications. They design and manufacture mobile-style, single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Hydraulic solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. They proudly design and manufacture all cylinders in the United States. Check out the video of their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as a Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World, Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing Lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing, and they support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. On orders of $20 or more, use promo code MRN for free shipping. You can check them out at www.circlebdiecast.com. I love when Anthony Macri was talking about Knoxville, and then right in the middle, he kind of snickered.
Yeah.
That says it all right there. That says what it means.
And I think he was just, reliving that moment.
Because he says, I'm still at a loss for words, and he's talking, all of a sudden he just kind of giggles. And I just think that just to me tells the story of what Knoxville means to racers. You know it. Man, I'll tell you what, the cat rolled it into the Knoxville Nationals. That's cool stuff. That's for sure. Hey, we don't have to wait long, Erin. Okay, so we were supposed to have, we were always going to have racing on Wednesday night of this week. Okay. It was going to be at Placerville. Well, Placerville is hit pause because they're the El Dorado Fairgrounds. And so now it is the fire camp for it's where all of the fire crews are gathering and meeting. There's two things I think going on there. It's where all of the fire crews are meeting. They're being dispatched from El Dorado County Fairground, which is Placerville. From the infield. And then it's also an animal shelter. It's an animal shelter as well because of the terrible fires. So, and remember we dealt with this with Kyle Hurst a couple years ago up in Surprise with that fire up there. Our California friends, man, we're just, gosh, I just hate that we seem to deal with this all the time. We just stay safe and take care of each other out there, and thoughts and prayers with everybody out there. So Placerville was going to be the kickoff of the fastest 5 days in motorsports. It's going to be the fastest 4 days. They're going to kick it off. But the World of Outlaws on Friday night got rained out at River Cities. So we have got tomorrow night World of Outlaws at River Cities.
It's one of my favorite
Oh,
tracks.
yes, indeed. That's going to be awesome, isn't it? So we're going to have a little Dirt Vision Wednesday night. Man, I'm all fired up. I might even pop up one of those fancy bags of popcorn for this one. Oh, it's going to be awesome. So World of Outlaws tomorrow night, River City Speedway. If you're on Dirt Vision, hey, Millbridge is now on Dirt Vision, so they've got racing tonight and tomorrow night too. And then the late models, between the late models and the modifieds, there is something on Dirt Vision all the time. Really? I mean, I'll pop on there and pick and just watch it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So what I also love is Wing Nation gear. It's available at www.wingnation.com, or this weekend, Posse fans, Grandview, Williams Grove, Lincoln, Baps. Wing Nation gear is available on the All-Star Circuit of Champions souvenir rig. So I mentioned it with Anthony, I'm going up there in middle of September. I want all of you Posse fans to have your Wing Nation gear. Yeah. So you can get it this weekend.
Should go do an autograph session at the trailer.
Oh, you kidding me? Well, that is All-Star. Yeah, it is. Oh, we might just have to have a little party there. A little
tweet up.
We might just have a little party there. Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah. I'll have some of my people work on it with some of their people. Fun for sure. Follow us on social media, Twitter and Facebook. Our YouTube channel has so many of the great interviews. One of the things getting a lot of play is on our YouTube channel now is Kyle Larson. He was on our TV show last week, and someone snipped his comments about the big screens, and it's gone viral. The thing, like the last I checked this morning, the thing had 21,000 posts or views on Twitter. So Kyle Larson, the entire interview, the other part of it's pretty good too. He would join us in studio. So neat stuff. So YouTube as well. Coming up on a Thursday podcast, Wade Onger. How about that? I can't wait. That's going to be so cool. Wade is going to join us. And then I think we mentioned this at the top of the show. Coming up this weekend on Wing Nation TV, presented by Sage Fruit, Donnie Schatz. How about that? How about Donnie Schatz? So the last month on our TV show, Shane Stewart, Ron Schumann, Kyle Larson, and Donnie Schatz.
Pretty good lineup.
Bringing it right there, that's for sure. And we brought it today with Cole Duncan and Anthony Macri. Hey, thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.